Dain Bosworth Viking Report, brought to you by Dain Bosworth. For questions on investments, big or small, call the Dain Bosworth Investment Connection, 371-2700.
Hello everyone and welcome to week 2 of the Dain Bosworth Viking Report. Mike Max along with Keith FAHNHORST. Later we will be joined by another regular from last year, Bob LURTSEMA, waiting in anticipation. I understand he's in the makeup room right now as we speak.
Let's hope so.
Plastic surgery, hopefully.
Right, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit. It wasn't pretty last week. Last week you and I sat down and we had Roger Craig on here, Carlos Jenkins, Todd Scott, some different people appeared on the show. Optimistic as most teams are going into the first game, but it was almost like every nightmare was realized.
Yeah, it really was, and of course there was a simple solution and a simple scapegoat. It was the line. You know, they always blame the line, but unfortunately it wasn't that simple. There were a lot of different things that went wrong. They came out and they looked flat, and I think I saw some comments in the paper that said they were.
Yeah, why would that happen in ball games, the opening game?
It happens. You know, you can be flat for a Super Bowl, believe it or not. I don't know if there's too much excitement in the anticipation of the game.
And you're kind of going like this, and you might end up on a lull as you go into the game instead of...
Maybe you lose it all on during Thursday's practice emotionally. It's hard to say, you know, and I don't think anybody's ever figured it out why that happens. It happens in athletics all the time, though, and that's what makes athletic competition so intriguing and so interesting. Is because it always happens. There's a human factor in there, and nobody knows why it happens.
And that's why those bookies make so much money out in Las Vegas. The offensive line, though, that was the area pinpointed as the biggest problem. What did you see out there in terms of what they need to do to improve and just an evaluation of their play and how much blame they actually deserve?
Yeah, what I saw is relief that I wasn't playing anymore. Any offensive lineman has gone through that kind of day. But it wasn't just the line's fault. I mean, you know, the quarterback wasn't getting rid of the ball soon enough. Linemen always said that. But there were breakdowns all through the offense. So it wasn't just the line, but they are the easy scapegoats because there was so much attention focused on them before the game even started. You know, are they going to miss Zimmerman? Are they going to miss Loudermilk? And so there's few reporters that really know what's going on in the line, but there was enough focus there that when something went wrong, it was easy to blame them. But they had problems, obviously, but it wasn't just the line. It was a lot of different things. The defense, I mean, the defense did not hold them all day. You've got to give the offense, as much as the offense might be struggling, you've got to give them more opportunities than they got last week. So.
And this week, if there's a glimmer of hope as they head into Chicago, and I think people are generally pretty optimistic about their chances, but Barry Word will be added, a running back, and they've talked all week about we have to establish the ground game. Now, Barry Word's interesting in that he came in a couple weeks ago. How tough is it to learn the system? How much of an impact can he make this Sunday?
Well, it probably would have been an advantage if he was in camp the whole time with Kansas City, because Kansas City's offense, I'm sure there's some similarities between that offense because it's a takeoff of the 49er offense, just like there's some similarities in the Viking defense with the 49er offense, and so there might have been some similarities there, but unfortunately he wasn't in camp the whole time in Kansas City, so I don't think they can expect too much from him. They'll probably have a certain number of plays that they want him to know. I'll use him in some short yardage situations or certain situations that they'll get him
that
in.
He's comfortable with.
Yeah.
How about a Chuck Evans? There's a guy that came from a small school. Is he the kind of guy that you think has to have a great line in front of him?
Well, I think every back has to have a great line in front of him. I think that, you know, he's just got to get some experience in there, and whether he has a great line or not, it's going to take him a while to get a feel for the thing, because he hasn't been in there enough where the live bullets are flying, and it just takes some of those experiences.
If you're an offensive coordinator, based on what you saw last week, do you try to come up with some quick rhythm passes for Jim McMahon, try to maybe shorten his drop or do something like that to offset having to hold that defensive line?
Yeah, I'm sure they had that last week too, and just didn't get a chance to use it, or it didn't look like they were using it. But they're going to have to do that, especially you know, when you have some young linemen that are going to have to get their feet under them before they go too much farther into the season. So give them a break by getting rid of the ball, giving them some help, and so on.
Okay, when we come back, we'll profile one of the Vikings' defensive backs. Msc Dain, he came up with an interception last week. Stay with us on the Dain Bosworth Viking Report. You look at this team, what kind of goals do you have for them?
I mean, you know, we won the division last year, and hopefully we can improve on that. You know, it would be very disappointing season if we don't go a little bit further.
Report each week we feature a different Viking. Today we profile a guy that had one of the few bright spots last week. Msc Glenn had an interception, otherwise there might have been another Raider touchdown. He is the subject of our Dain Bosworth Viking profile. Msc Glenn came over to the Vikings 2 years ago via the Plan B free agency. A good move for Msc and the Vikings.
I'm very happy right now. You know, I'm blended well with the guys. You know, I'm looking forward to this. And, you know, I'm playing with 3 All-Pros in the secondary, so, you know, that's great. You know, I just like playing with them. And the defensive scheme is great. And, you know, I'm really a person that likes self-awards. You know, I'm a team player, and if we're doing well as a team, hey, that's all I care about.
Part of what makes it exciting for Msc is the scheme the Vikings play and the people he plays it with.
Guys fly around, guys make plays, and, you know, you got a front four like that and linebackers like Eddie, Carlos, and Jack. You know, it makes it great.
Seems like a cohesive unit.
Oh, yeah, you know, guys coming in from different places, you know, a lot of number ones that were here, a lot of good players, and, you know, just guys coming in and blending in, and, you know, that's what it's all about, some kind of camaraderie. And I think on defense we have a good one.
The length of a career for a football player is uncertain, but Msc is certain of one thing. How long is Msc Glenn going to be in this league?
I don't know. As long as they let me, you know, don't be like one of the guys on the Bad News Bears. You know, they gonna come and try to get me off the field. I'm gonna just say, give me one more year, you know. So I'm gonna just try to hang around and stay healthy and see what happens.
Msc Glenn, our Dain Bosworth Viking profile. Msc Glenn, and Keith, we mentioned that he was a Plan B free agent. Plan B is out, free agency is in. How much does that change the complexion of teams? And will you see teams make bigger jumps and bigger fall-offs because they can make a lot more transactions in the offseason?
I think we're going to see a lot of that in the next couple of years because once that salary cap kicks in, which is going to happen next year, you're going to see a lot of high-priced, good athletes that are going to have to let go. And they'll be moving around the league. And so I think there's going to be more movement in the years ahead, probably a lot lower-priced talent, too.
Do you wish you could have played in that era when free agency was available?
Oh yeah, I think any ball player that's retired now would have liked to have taken advantage of some of the things that are going on, at least this year. It's not going to look like that good an agreement, I don't think, after this year when the salary cap kicks in. I think you're going to see a lot of guys that are real disappointed.
Could that create some diversion amongst the team because what they say is you're going to have 5% of the players making 90% of the money?
I think it might, but you know, the anger shouldn't be directed at each other. It should be directed at the union that screwed this another agreement out.
You can hardly call it a union.
Yeah, I know. I was a union rep, and we fought for years, and it looks, you know, I hate to pass judgment too soon, but I think they screwed up another agreement, a 7-year agreement that looks real good the first year. It's going to look real bad by the 5th year.
Well, it's surprising. When we come back, we'll bring on a area free agent, Bob LURTSEMA. Stay with us on the Dain Bosworth Viking Report.
I think we got a good mix of people. I think we got a lot of spirit. We got some veterans. I think we're going to be able to get the right combination of people to push each other. And I think the other thing is Jimmy Mack's being a big leader over on the offense. He's got them guys going. Special teams stepped it up today. I mean, I think as a complete unit, I think this team will be better.
And welcome back to the Dain Bosworth Viking Report. Yes, the Vikings were beaten badly last Sunday, but don't despair. I quote from Bob LURTSEMA's reaction to the action in the Vikings update. Not a great opener, but there are 15 more games this season, and the upcoming Chicago Bears game will be a great one. Jack Del Rio and the defense will definitely shut the Bears down, and I'll be able to smile once again. Bad start, but remember, the Vikes will still go 11-5.
You're not buying that crap. I'm reading.
No, I'm not.
I didn't write it. Nobody believes it.
I was out fishing and I needed some wrapping, so I grabbed a gun.
Hey, they will. They'll still be 11-5. That's a good football team. You know, during the season, a good football team will have 1 or 2 bad games. And unfortunately, the Vikings have theirs opening day. And they'll bounce back against the Bears and pound them. And everybody will be smiling again, and life will go on.
So you'll take the Vikes this week?
I don't know yet.
That's the point.
I want these guys to, you know, turn us off. Yeah, you have to wait around. It's a big part of the program.
We'll have their predictions at the end of the show, as was tradition last year. Keith, Bob was not with us last week.
No, I wanted to welcome back from his holdout. We couldn't get a deal worked out with Denver, so we had to bring him back, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the deal?
That was part of it, yeah.
Now the whole crew isn't making any money because you got the big raise.
It's like that salary cap problem
Yeah,
that
right.
they face in the NFL.
Yeah.
Bob gets all the money, the rest of us and the crew here suffers.
Did you enjoy your free agency for a bit there? Or?
No, I'll tell you, watching your show last week, you guys did a great job without me. And, you know, it's just like, actually it's just like football, because I held out 1 year when I was with the New York Giants.
Oh, did you?
And I missed a week of practice, and that was the worst week of my life, because you want to be involved. I mean, we obviously, we all three of us love doing this. And when you can't do it, you see it going on without you, you don't like it. So I took the pay cut and came back.
Hey, last week I talked to Keith about it, and I want to get your opinion on it too. Kadri Ismail, as he comes into the league, we were talking last week, too much hype for a rookie. Does he have to be careful of his image? What do you think?
No, the way he goes out, he's full speed all the time. Right there is a great return. He can do it all. Physically, he has the tools there. And attitude-wise, he's very refreshing for the Twin City area. I like everything about him.
You know, I knew he was going to pick up for a guy that played to the media. I wonder why. I wonder why that might be.
Hey, you're an offensive lineman, and they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah,
You
okay.
still have that going for you. Speaking of the offensive line, Everett Lindsey, you know, he's a good football player, nice kid too, very intelligent, and everybody jumped, you know, went against him how he played last week. He wasn't the worst of the five. I mean, the whole offensive line did not have a good game.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because everybody focuses on Lindsey because he's the rookie. A lot of people thought Tim Irwin would not still be in the league this year, at least starting. And Todd Kalis was a big question mark. And all of a sudden, these guys are almost givens that they're going to do a good job, but there's nothing certain to say that these guys are going to have good years.
Yeah. But I think Keith can answer better than I can on that one. A lot of times, the person next to you will make you play better or look better. And I think the best example we can have is
like when you played with Alan Page and Marshall.
Well, they make me look good. Yeah. But Reggie White, I watched the Green Bay game. Now he's turned the other players up a notch. And I mean, he didn't have a great game, you know, sack-wise or tackle-wise. But the guys beside him were playing unbelievable. And I think what they did there by throwing Lindsey in there, it's a little too quick, I think, for a rookie to play off of a tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a good situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No.
first time out, here you are, it's your job, you haven't started, you know, the entire preseason, and boom, you're right there.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it last week. He must have been, you don't want to say scared, but nervous like you wouldn't believe before he went into that game. And it's going to take a while. I mean, he hasn't worked next to McDaniel that long either, and so those guys still have to get everything together. So it's going to take a while. He's a good, I mean, if he can handle it mentally, he'll be fine. If he doesn't go in the tank after last week's game, he's never going to go in the tank, so that'll be a good
Bob, were you nervous your first start?
Did you ever start?
Wait.
We're talking high school, right? All right, let's get the right time span. I want to know. But, you know, I was always nervous before any game. And obviously, we always keep about being a bench runner. I just started for 8 years. And I was always afraid that today or the game day would be the worst day of my career. I wasn't afraid physically or anything. I knew I was going to get killed. I accepted that. But I wanted to play to close to 100% as I could. I just said, don't make today the worst day of my career. That's what I was always scared about. And that was the part that drove me.
Fear.
Yeah.
I think
Fear of failure.
I think every athlete has that insecurity. I mean, from Joe Montana on down. I mean, there's that insecurity, and that's what.
But the good ones have ways to overcome the fear of failure.
Yeah, exactly.
They have talent.
And they have talent.
Hey, help you guys. I'll tell you, I didn't have it. I was struggling.
Hey, we got a couple fan questions. Guys want to talk to you again. I can't believe it. Let's go to our first one.
I'm Nick Holmes, and I'm from Maplewood, Minnesota, and I want to know if Roger Craig would be the future running back from Minnesota Vikings.
We had Roger on last week, but you had, 10 rushes for 30 yards last week. Will he be the feature back? Will they split it up? What do you two think?
Well, it looks like they're trying to take the load off Roger and get some other people in there. I mean, obviously, they've been talking about it the whole year. I think he's still going to be one of the main guys, but probably not the feature back by the end of the year. He was one of the only guys that played well last week, and thank God he did.
Great attitude, great leader. You know, he will be the leader. But look for Robert Smith to play a lot more. He'll be a sleeper in about 3 weeks.
They're kind of slowly bringing him in, aren't they? Can we go to our next question?
I'm Dave from Minnetonka. I want to know if Jim McMahon has as wonderful an attitude off the field as he does on the field.
Well, I'm not quite sure what Dave means by that, but
Their personality, that's what they're talking about.
Bob, you're at the Vikings camp a lot. What do you think of Jim McMahon professionally and personally?
Professional, you know, I love the way he acts on the field.
Maybe we'll just leave it at that?
I've been in the locker room, you know, obviously with the Viking up there, I'm still around him. I've met every imaginable personality, and he is unique, and I've never met anybody like him in my life.
Unique. We'll leave it at unique, Keith?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to touch that.
Okay, well, when we come back, we'll take a few more questions, get some more insights from these guys. Stay with us. The Dain Bosworth Viking Report.
Stupid question, Mike.
Consistency. I mean, that's the whole thing. If you can stay consistent for 16 games, not have any letdowns, you're going to do pretty well because the talent in this league is about the same. It's whoever wants it more.
For the next one.
My name is Bob. I'm from Circle Pines, and how much of an effect is it going to have that we lost three of the offensive linemen?
Give us a Viking salute first. The official Viking salute.
That's where that's coming from.
I think if you lost 3 defensive linemen, you'd be in a lot worse shape, because offensive linemen are a lot easier to replace.
Are you referring to when you played?
Yes, even today. I mean, that's just my feeling, because offensive linemen is not a big deal to start.
Dime a dozen, as you
that's what I really
You can pick them up anywhere?
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Now, you can say what you like.
Well, I think we saw the effect last week, but I'll agree with you.
No, hey. Hey, I'll tell you what you saw last week. You saw Jim McMahon pull the bonehead play of his career. I thought it was Jim Harbaugh.
On the interception.
That was the worst call. I thought that was when Harbaugh threw the one to Todd Scott, turned the Vikings season around, made Todd Scott All-Pro. McMahon did the same thing. That was a terrible. Have we had enough time to say how many terrible plays that was? A veteran does not make a play like that. That's the only thing I was disappointed in McMahon.
I think he forgot that he could legally ground the ball. I swear he was trying to force it into the receiver. I don't think he was trying to throw it out of bounds.
Well, he should have been trying to throw it out of bounds. With a new rule, you can do that.
But, easy for us to say. In the heat of competition like that, some strange things come out of all of us.
Yeah,
but,
you might see somebody open that's not.
Yeah, right. But, that was a turning point. I mean, there was still a chance. But when you're down 21-0, it's
in the first half.
14-0, and unfortunately the Raiders gave them every opportunity to win that game.
Especially penalties.
Oh, I know it. Brown had that one called back, a 71-yard touchdown run. That was called back. We didn't take advantage of it. But that's why this week with McMahon has something to prove. It's going to be
waiting for us.
It's worth waiting for. I hope he does as well as Joe Montana did last week.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah. Next question.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Edina. I want to know if Ed McDaniel can step in his first year and have a good year at linebacker.
That's a good question, because Ed McDaniel is going to play a key role in that defense, and that's somebody people haven't heard that much about.
He looked great in the preseason. I mean, he was making some plays that the quickness that he was showing was something you don't see that often from the linebackers. And I mean, he was fantastic. I don't remember seeing him last week, but then we didn't see much of anybody last week.
No, he'll definitely prove himself week in and week out. He can accelerate so fast. He's a smart kid. He knows how to fill, loves to hit. Yeah. Got a perfect attitude. He could play when we played. He's that type of guy.
He's that good, huh?
That's right, he's that good.
I ran into him at the gas station last week. He lives with Terry Allen. Terry Allen has his family, and Ed got $1.25 of gas he's paying. And I go, Ed, what are you doing? He was filling up the lawnmower. He had to mow the lawn for Terry because Terry can't anymore with his blown out knee. So he's keeping busy all week long. Let's go to our next question.
Hi, I'm Lisa Keating. I'm from Chicago, and I'd like to know, do you think the Vikings even have a chance against those Chicago Bears this year?
Typical Chicagoan.
Lisa, they will. The Bears, I'm surprised they showed up. Because I firmly believe that Mike Ditka got more out of that personnel than they had. They do not have good personnel. Mike Ditka drove them to play at the 100% level almost every game.
And even that wasn't enough last year.
No, they do not have a lot of talent. And that's why Sweet Lisa should be crying about 3:30 Sunday afternoon.
So you call her Sweet Lisa. I wonder why.
She said she knew you. Next question.
Bosworth Viking Report.
Hi, I'm Paul from Chicago, and I'd like to know, do you think McMahon's really going to make it a season without getting injured? In Chicago, we couldn't do it.
And we wanted to reiterate before that question what show you were watching.
Yeah, right, Dean. We can't work out all the bugs at one time,
Hey, it's
right?
only
We
our
got
second
Lurts back
show,
here.
that's right.
No.
Can McMahon go through?
Sure. Last year, only 6 quarterbacks made it throughout the entire NFL season. So you had 22 of them that took a dive sometime in the season, couldn't get it all the way through. There's no reason why he cannot make it. He's just, he knows when to dump. By that I mean dump the ball when you have a short pass.
I was wondering what you meant by that.
I waited for you to pick up on that one.
He's been around long enough to know when to dump.
Put up your mouth and third foot. Anyway, dropped the short passes, and I think that's going to make a big difference. And what do you think?
Yeah, I know it took me about 5 years to know when to dump. No, I think he'll be fine.
Usually just before the game for quite a while.
Well, they need a little help in the offensive line, or at least better play from the offensive line. But he can make it through the year.
What about this war of words? McMahon ripped Harbaugh and got back in Chicago. Harbaugh responded, I don't pay attention to people on the periphery and all this stuff. Do you think he's trying to get inside Harbaugh and shake him up a little bit?
No, that's McMahon. That's his personality. He's got that arrogance about him. He's a winner. He knows
he's sincere when he says these things. He's not doing it just for the media.
No, he isn't, because off the field he's exactly the same. I mean, you can't get close to the person. He has his own personality. He lives within himself. And if you don't like it, well, then take a hike.
Well, that's good to live within yourself.
That's right. So what he says is he means it. And it's going to be great, because I know I came back from the Seahawks when the Seahawks made the best trade ever made in the history of their franchise, and they traded me out there.
Yeah, who was that no name the Vikings got in return?
Rashad.
Oh, yeah. Rashad, yes.
He didn't last long.
No. He was so bad he had to go into TV full time.
He left early. But when I came back, they had Bob LURTSEMA, they were nice enough. TCF sponsored that, and it worked out very, very well. But I was so pumped up to come back here and prove that the coaches were wrong, go against my old teammates, and show them, hey, Lurts can't play this game. And I think McMahon's going to have that same type of rush. I mean, I got goosies right now. It's the greatest rush in the world to be able to come back against your teammates, and then hope you can just stick it to them.
And people talk about McMahon getting injured, and if he did, what would the scenario be? What would the depth chart look like? Sean Salisbury, Gino Toretta, Brad Johnson. Now, let's say that happens, and what you're going to have is a lot of press conferences, but you want to know the inside. Is there a phone number you could call to get the proper depth chart on that?
Probably not.
Oh, no, there's a 900 number.
Oh, there is?
Oh, yes. Just dial 1-900-860-0075, and then Tony Parker will tell you exactly what goes on, every trade, every injury, and he calls in fresh and new every day.
Updated every day. Let's get some predictions from you guys for tomorrow or today if you're watching this show Sunday morning.
I got to go with the Vikes. Yeah, I the Bears don't have a lot of talent. It's going to take them a while to turn their franchise around. I got to go with the Vikings, but I think they're going to take it out on them. I'll go with by 14 points, 2 touchdowns.
But, I hate to agree with you, so I'm not going to. The Vikes will definitely have a great day. The defense has got to play better. The defensive line's got to pick it up a tad, and last week was not one of their better games. I think they'll shut them down, and the score will end up 31-10. Vikes will win by 21.
You heard it here first. Now, next week is a bye week for the Vikings. They have the week off. We have the week off. We will be back the following week to preview the Green Bay Packers and to preview the opening of a new restaurant in Burnsville. Yes, another bench warmer Bob's coming to a place near you. There's not one in your neighborhood yet. There will be soon. We invite you to join us 2 weeks from today. Until then, have a good week, everybody.
The Dain Bosworth on 2700.